All right.
Hey, welcome everybody. Thank you everyone for joining today with the newest AMA. Today we are with Leon, the head of operation from BitHotel. Thank you for joining us. Just a quick intro about Seedify and Seedify HODLers. Seedify is a gaming launchpad that you need to hold at least an amount of tokens to be part of it. You need to have 250 to be part of the lottery system, or more than 1,000 to have a guaranteed allocation. About the Seedify hodlers, we are not related to Seedify. We work because we love Seedify and what they do. You all know Marcus from the Seedify hodlers. Yesterday, Richard was here instead of me, and he's also part of us. And basically, you already know everything about Seedify or the Seedify hodlers if you are here mostly. So uh, I think that's it. So Leon, if you want to introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. It's a pleasure. So, yeah, my name is Leon. I'm the head of operations of BitHotel, as well as one of the co-founders of the project. So, yeah, my background is mostly in marketing and business development. I help BitHotel with partnership acquisition, as well as recruitment, all kinds of standard operations as well. So, setting all the procedures and stuff for new colleagues. And overall help with community growth. And a whole lot more. I wear many hats every day. We can get into that more later, but I think that's me in a nutshell.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
I hope you manage the different hats all the time. I can imagine it can be a bit tough from time to time, from my own experience. So, if you had to say in just a short sentence what BitHotel is about, how would you describe the project to the community?
Yeah, excellent question. So, BitHotel is a social metaverse game in which all the assets are owned by the players, meaning we have in-game land, characters, as well as all kinds of things to do on the land that can be owned and purchased, as well as won by playing. I can show you some visuals of how that would look like in a second. Um, but yeah, we're basically focusing on two main parts of the game very strongly. One of which is social. So we think that how most people communicate in the gaming space as well as in the crypto space is mostly Telegram and Discord, and it's simply quite limited in terms of like identity and ways to differentiate yourself from others. There's a much more fun way to do it in the metaverse, of course. Yeah, you've all probably seen Ready Player One. If you can really build an in-game identity and build something that you stand behind, and be able to really be yourself in a virtual world. I think that's something definitely we strive towards. So we're building that in an 8-bit style. So in the style you all grew up with. I can show you some visuals, as I said, soon. Very similar to the Flash games of the year around 2005. And this together with a very competitive space. So we're also focusing on how do you say, skill-based matchmaking, leaderboard tiers, and getting people to really involve themselves into the esports part of crypto gaming. There are some other players in the space doing this pretty well, and I think we can definitely be one of them. So yeah, that's our project in a nutshell. Once we delve more into the details, I'll share my screen and run you through some of the features we're building and some of the timelines we're looking at. So yeah, excited to share, guys.
Okay, thank you. About other projects you mentioned in the blockchain, with which projects you think you can pair BitHotel with, and in which part BitHotel outstands them?
Yeah, good question. So there are a few projects that take a very similar approach to what we do. One that comes to mind is Rich City. You can find them on Google. They take like they basically built like Habbo Hotel in in the in blockchain gaming. So they don't really have utility next to owning a virtual piece of land and standing on it with some friends. So there's no real play to earn to that. But I think they are very close to what we're doing in terms of how it looks and the inspiration it's created from. But we take it far further. So as we know that we're really delving heavily into the play to earn space, where we allow players to earn NFTs as well as tokens in game, redeem those for the assets that they need to build wealth in the game, and always have the option to cash out through our on platform marketplace that's about to release at the end of the month. I think to bring it more concretely, it would make sense to just share my screen so your viewership has a better idea of how this all looks, and then that way I can also far better visualize things.
Right, let's just go through a few questions first, so everyone has a bit of an idea about what everything is going to look like, so they have an understanding inside their mind. And then when we wrap up the questions about the core aspects of the game, then let's move to the share screening, so people can visualize everything that you have explained. And you can just run through a bit faster, like this is that, etc. So.
Sure.
When you talk about the game itself, how can people start playing, and what assets will they need to basically start?
Yeah, good question. So we hate barriers to entry. We see a lot of games like Axie Infinity are a victim of their own success in a sense. That their barrier to entry is a couple $100 just to get started. We want to really push it towards mainstream, so we're taking a different route. We're going free to earn, meaning it's totally free to get started, and you can actually make money. But if you play well enough and you put in the time, and you don't need any assets in game. Even better, if you buy assets, there's not like a higher likelihood that you'll win in our competitive scene. There's no pay to win in a sense. You'll always have equal chances. Simply acquiring assets in the game will multiply your earnings, so to say, but it does not guarantee any type of wins in the competitive scene, nor does it make it that you somehow earn more easily. It's just simply a more or less of a multiplier. I think that about covers your question.
Okay, thank you. You talked before about Habbo Hotel. When I look at the game, it reminds me a lot about Habbo Hotel, but in the blockchain. What makes it a blockchain game instead of a internet game like Habbo Hotel? And what is the differences between Habbo Hotel and BitHotel, if there are any?
Yeah, excellent question. So Habbo Hotel is more or less MSN Messenger that was popular during that time, but then gamified. So Habbo was more or less an online messenger tool. There was no other utility than just messaging friends and walking around with a little character. There were some activities to get them credit, and there was also trading and stuff. However, it was very limited. The main utility was talking online, and that was then very, very much new. Like MSN was just coming out, and having chat on, like smartphones weren't even there yet. So Habbo was revolutionary for its time. However, if you look at it now, they were built on Flash, so that doesn't even work anymore. I believe they have a Unity client as well, but it's also not the same as it used to be. So all in all, I think it's outdated, and it was cool when it came out. However, right now, players are switching games very often. It takes a lot of effort to really get retention in your game, and your game has to really innovate and bring something new, or bring something that was previously doing well and put it in a new code with some extra features. So we're more leaning towards that side of things, meaning we try to emulate their 8-bit art style and bring the social aspects back, but better with voice, with muting, with clubhouse-like events where people can invite each other and interview each other while the rest is spectating, with Twitch-like emotes and chat functionalities, wherein people can trade, can give away, can do all kinds of fun stuff, with an open backend wherein developers can build their own mods, etc. And put this on the blockchain, meaning the ownership is fully decentralized. The assets are owned not by us as the studio; they're owned by the players. People can partake not only by playing but also by investing. The token system, the game economy is decentralized as well. So players can acquire some of the tokens, stake it, earn a nice interest, and get voting rights in that way, or they can participate, earn like a high tier in the leaderboards, get rewarded by that, but also gain voting rights in that way. So there's a whole lot of stuff to cover that makes Web3 so interesting, and that also differentiates us from the old Flash game that was Habbo.
All right, thank you. So you mentioned one of the things is your social aspects of BitHotel are going to be very important. You also mentioned that you're one of the people that basically puts everything in a new code. So would you say that the social interactions in the way that you guys are developing it is part of this new code, or is it different? And also, from your perspective, are these social interactions going to be a primary aspect of the game, or are you more focusing on different aspects?
So us developing definitely helps. Like the legacy systems that Habbo is built on. Just to quickly, before we stop talking about Habbo, it's 20 years old. Their team is 100 people, and I don't think they can move their systems to any Web3 tech in any sort of way within, say, 5 years, simply because they're a very big machine. So what we indeed have as an advantage, we're a small team. We're also partnered with a game studio here in the Netherlands that has a lot of experience with blockchain games. They're the guys behind revolvegames.io as well. So they have some serious, listed blockchain games that are performing really well. So we're partnering with them. We're developing it together with them to make it the best possible, to give it like zero latency, fully scalable code, able to handle not only 10,000 but like 500,000 players if it pops off. Just the whole smart contract side of things makes it, of course, far more interesting as well. So yeah, of course, I won't have to tell you what Web3 enables, but we're all very excited of what's to come, and our community is as well. We're doing a lot of stuff together with our community, all kinds of airdrops, NFT launches for players to participate in and earn a little stake in the project. So yeah, would love to talk more about that later.
Sorry, I was muted.
No worries.
I want to ask about the movement in the hotel. How is player going to be able to move from one room to another room? Will there be enough rooms for everybody, or how will it work?
Yeah, good question. So the amount of assets available will depend on the player base, and prior to the game being released, we'll release different asset types, like indeed rooms as well as characters. We'll release them in batches, just very limited quantity.
You can show them now if you want. You want to share?
Yeah, I can. Awesome. Yeah, that's perfect, man. All right, let's do it.
It's the best moment to show the rooms and the characters. So it's your moment. So Sebastian, awesome. Please enable him to do it. Okay.
Yeah, let me know when you see it. Perfect. All right. So you noted on a few things, right? You noted on how do you access the rooms, as well as will there be enough for players? How do we think about quantity, and how do we sustain rarity levels with a growing player base? So what we're doing is we're splitting the hotel up in sections. This is just the top part. Every section has a few floors, and those will become available via INOs, via NFT sales, together with partners. The first one will be next month, together with the Trustpad, as well as one more partner I can't remember the name of, but will be a serious event. And how players will access their land when the game releases is they will, if you go to the overview of the lobby, they will spawn in the lobby when they first log in, and they can access their land through the elevator. The amount of land that we make available when the game launches, as well as the amount of any type of assets that we have in game, it will be scalable together with the players. So it's not like we have only 5 available of the highest rarity. No matter what player base, it will scale that percentually together with the growing player base, so that rarity, stays pegged in percentages to the total amount of players. There's not like a 0.01% chance or something to own something. So that's exciting. Next to that, the land will of course have different perks, as well as different sizes and things you can do with it. And because we're a hotel, that will have different views, different names as well. So have penthouses, suites, etc. I can share you some more designs of those if you want. Then there's far more asset types. As I noted before, we have characters as well that give you bonus multipliers on your earnings in game, as well as all kinds of furniture with utility. So there will be like games of chance, similar to like gambling kind of games that the players can participate in and put like an NFT on the line, more or less. And of course, just the cloud aspect of it, players having the highest rarity because they attended some sort of governance event that was only open to a few people. They want to show that off to their friends, and they can by even using the voice chat in game to tell them about it. So that's more or less how people would access their land and how we think of quantities of NFTs.
Okay, thank you.
Can you take the next question, please, George?
Yeah, sure. I also read that there are a lot of events going to happen on the hotel. What kind of events should we expect? For example, could we watch a football game on the floor 23? And also, are there any requirements to enter those events?
So there will be different kinds of events. Mainly there will be 2 types. There will be curated events, so created by us. You can think of these as like music festival type events, auctions where we auction off a certain piece that might even be player owned. Pub quizzes, some more trivial events, as well as just general discussions on different things that we might do, like governance events wherein players that participate in the ecosystem get a say in things we were planning, whether that's the next mini game that we are hosting on rotation, or what we should develop next. All that kind of stuff can be in the curated events section. And then there will be player hosted events as the second part, wherein players themselves can host events in their room. Very similar to how a clubhouse meeting looks like. People simply invite people either inside of the BitHotel ecosystem or outside of it with an invite link to their room. And once people, create an account, log in, they can then have a conversation with their own unique character that they acquired by playing or simply purchased on the marketplace, and have a fun, more interactive way to do events than doing a simple, say, Telegram AMA or a Discord chat. So very exciting, and we also see a lot of interest from communities that we're partnered with to have their discussions, their Ask Me Anything events, similar to what we're doing right now, instead of having them on Telegram or Discord or YouTube, having them in their own custom branded conference rooms with only their community members being able to enter through their character NFTs. So owning a certain character would then be your ticket to enter these kinds of community events. So we're pre-selling these pretty well, and custom branding them and designing them for our partners. So I think that about covers what we're planning right now for events. And to be honest, there's also a lot of people from the music industry, like large names, that we're talking with, that would love to hold some sort of event in our metaverse, whether that's music related or it's a sneakerhead that wants to pawn off a very high priced sneaker. All of that is definitely possible, and can be far more fun on Web3 than doing it on a normal website. So that's how you could think of it.
Okay.
When you consider the different NFTs within the game, could you explain to the people what kind of NFTs there are and what the purpose of those NFTs is?
Also,
Yeah, sure.
can we take the NFTs from other games? For example, I have a ship in Star Atlas. Can I take it into BitHotel as something?
Yeah, good questions. So I noted two different parts of the question. The three, like the different types we have. First of which is the land. I already noted. When we have different characters, which of which the sale is currently live on our website. They're almost gone. Then the third one is the furniture that the players can own and furnish their room with. That will have more or less gambling kind of features, games of chance, as well as more competitive skill-based mini games that they can do using these pieces of furniture. Now the second question was again.
That if we can take NFTs from other games.
Exactly, interoperability. So in order for something to be interoperable, it has to be on the same chain, or it has to be able to be bridged, or there has to be like a manual collaboration between projects in order to be interoperable, meaning for one asset to be used in the other's game and vice versa. We're very busy partnering with all different kinds of games. We have some very exciting titles to share soon, with which indeed this is possible. It's totally possible. And also the trading of our NFTs, it's fully open. They cannot only be traded on our marketplace. They can also be traded on external marketplaces. And we already see that actually, because our internal marketplace will be released in around 2 weeks. There's no trading possible on our website yet. However, people are already trading the NFTs on an external website. So much so that the external website reached out and wanted us to get it verified. That's exciting.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, could you explain a bit about the leaderboard within the game?
Yeah, sure. So what you currently see in the crypto gaming scene is that projects are very much experimenting with different kinds of ways for players to earn a living, to earn crypto by playing. One of which we think is one of the most promising ones is by creating a very competitive gaming scene around the game, meaning it's not completely for casual gamers. It can be, however, if you become too good, your opponents will grow in skill level with you. We're trying to tackle this by implementing skill-based matchmaking, in which players get matched up with players of equal level, and having players that continuously win progress through the different tiers in the leaderboards, very similar to what an Apex Legends or an Overwatch is doing. And these leaderboards will then be reset on a weekly and monthly basis, and that the guys that end up high will earn rewards. So the fun thing about this is that the mindless Axie Infinity players from the Philippines that simply put in 8 hours a day and go on shifts. That kind of stuff is slightly disincentivized because you need to be sharp. You cannot just create bots or try and play the system by just playing a lot. So we think this is a good way for players to make money, better than just clicking around a few times and then winning a match like Axie is. So I think that about covers the incentive behind the leaderboards.
Okay, thank you. About the token and the tokenomics, can you explain a little bit about the BitHotel coin and the revenue model? Like players can just win, as you said, by doing exactly what there will be competitions, and what are the other use for the BitHotel coin?
Yeah, good question. So we're having a two-token system in which the in-game token it lives in-game, similar to Axie's SLP tokens. The advantage of this being that you can scale the supply of the token with the amount of players. This is often needed. Otherwise, the price of the token gets out of hand when the player base grows exponentially. So, the in-game token, which is not DEX listed, it's inflationary and it's won by competing, as I noted, as well as by attending events and doing other in-game activities. Those tokens will then be able to be redeemed by those players for in-game assets. So if they play a lot, they have a lot of those tokens. They can redeem them for new pieces of land, characters that stuff they can rent out that makes them money passively and that gives them bonuses, perks, etc. And the second token is the token that lives on the marketplace as well as more outside of the ecosystem. So the way for players to cash out on their in-game investments is through the marketplace, and for marketplace transactions you need this second main token that we also use for fundraising. These are also used in staking, so this token can be used for staking and providing liquidity to our protocols. And the way we basically create revenue out of this is we take a very small fee on the marketplace transactions, of which actually 20% of that fee is burned. So not only will be able to create liquidity in this way, we'll also indeed create revenue to continue development. So I think if it's all clear, that about covers like our two token system. But if you have any questions, let me know.
No, we can let the
Yeah.
community ask later on.
I just want to ask a bit about tokenomics. I always like to dig a little bit deeper. So there's always people that ask, what are the deflationary aspects of a game? I'm not going to ask that one because basically any project with a fixed supply is deflationary by definition. People are always asking for a burning mechanism. It's completely unnecessary. As long as the supply is fixed and the demand of the token is increasing, that's basically deflationary already. How are you guys dealing with this in BitHotel? So you have a fixed supply. You said you're burning something, so that's also of course deflationary. But let's just eliminate that aspect for a moment. What you want to see, obviously, is an increase in demand of your token, basically by the people. How do you plan to get this done?
Yeah, interesting. I think there's a lot of stuff to unpack in your question. Let me. You guys can still see my screen, right, or not?
No, not now. Yeah.
Okay. Would make sense to maybe show you our little roadmap slide that goes into what we're doing to not only increase buy pressure, just increase interest overall on the project. So right now we're at the end of the year. Our token is about to launch in a week. So right before that, the reason we're on call is we have a public IDO. It increased a lot of buzz around the project. and the token will launch on the 23rd of December, after which trading is just 24/7, as you know. In order to increase demand and build up the hype leading up to game launch, we not only have centralized exchange listings coming up, we have game betas and a whole lot of KOLs, key opinion leaders of all different platforms, streamers, YouTube, TikTok, etc., ready to make content when the game betas are out. We're also partnered with a lot of communities that not only partake in our ecosystem by getting a conference room, but also would love to have a community showcase of the game. This will happen in the next 3 months with different centralized exchange listings and different betas, but also new NFT offerings. So I noted the land sale early in the call. That will be coming next month, and then every month thereafter there will be a different asset class on sale, so people can acquire different assets at a lower price than they will be on the marketplace when the game comes out. We already see it, like our highest rarity character right now on the website, which was sold out in like a second when the initial NFT offering of the first wave that we launched, which is currently still live. Only the lower rarity ones are still available, but the highest rarity item, which only had a fixed supply of 5, it's already going for 250k on the secondary market. So it's definitely a good idea to get these assets before the game comes out, and that will also help with building the engagement towards the game launch. So to touch briefly upon the deflationary aspect of the token, not only do we have indeed a burn, we have other methods to incentivize pulling liquidity like out of the system, as in lowering sell pressure and reducing more or less circulating supply by, for example, staking. So if we offer a good incentive for people to stake their tokens, not only to getting into governance, but also get custom rewards like custom NFTs airdrop to them if they stake for a certain amount of time, then I think that there would be a good deflationary proposition as well. And as I noted, we have 2 tokens. So the one in game, it will inflate. It's a totally different story, but it's not dex listed in any way, but it will inflate based on the amount of players to accommodate for the amount of players, basically. So it's very similar to what Axie Infinity is doing with their in-game token as well. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you very much. Back on to George with the next question.
Yeah, the next question is quite a simple one. I want to know who is going to do the audits on the game, on the NFTs and everything.
Yeah, good question. So Certic as well as Solidity Finance are doing our audits. The first audit for the NFT smart contract is already done. It's on the website. You can find it. And for every other new piece of tech that we're deploying on mainnet will also be audited prior to that, because we do of course feel that that is very important to have completely secure and audited code, and we don't want to be a victim of any exploit. So makes total sense. If we put this much time and effort into a project, that we pay the fee to get the best audit possible. I think that's more or less everything there is on auditing from our end.
Yeah, it's good to know that you have chosen good companies to organize your audits. That will give a bit of confidence to not a bit, that will give a lot of confidence to the people that are going to participate in BitHotel. I'd say we are going to move on to the community questions, see what they have to ask and what they're going to throw at you. Right, Bala here. Can you tell us about the motivations and benefits for investors to hold your tokens long term? I think you kind of touched on that subject already by the second last question.
Yeah, I think I did, but to briefly summarize, there will be a lot of marketing related events coming up, and definitely in the next quarter. But after game release, there will also be a lot of updates on the game. So there will be more functionality rolling out every week, new mini games being launched, new ways to compete. as well as all kinds of community incentives. Like proof of attendance events, wherein, for example, if you're in a room in the game at a certain time at a certain place, then you get airdropped a certain NFT that will hold value, will never be created again. Things like that give people, custom access to certain parts of the hotel, secret corridors. There's all kinds of fun stuff we're planning. So yeah, I think there's a lot of value to hold the token long term, and also not be afraid of any short-term sell pressure, because most of our investors that got in early at a lower token price than we'll launch at, those guys are vested for 2 years. So meaning that they will have very limited access to their tokens the first 2 years, meaning there's barely any sell pressure from people that got larger amount of tokens prior to listing. And yeah, all in all, there will be only an upward slope, especially when the game launches in a few months as well. And yeah, prior to game launch, I already noted centralized exchange listings, NFT offerings, as well as community showcases together with key opinion leaders. That about sums up, the answer.
Okay, thank you. Before going to the next question, I just want to say that it's going to be the giveaway. There is already posted on the YouTube chat. It is pinned. The code will be shared in a moment. So please just stay here and you can have the code. So Rajesh, our most loyal guy here, when every other metaverse is going to be 3D and VR, why did you choose to still be in 2D, and how would you outstand among them?
I think he answers his own question almost. No, I do have experience with VR, and the 3D modeling of it, how it plays. I see a lot of players indeed going into this direction also, because you can easily make the graphics very appealing. And graphics and trailers is what most people get in at when investing in crypto. However, it is not necessarily the most fun. I'm not sure if you guys have ever put on an Oculus headset, but most people are done with it within 24 hours. And yeah, we feel that the nostalgic 8-bit type of gameplay that brings you back to your childhood when you played those flash games on any kinds of gaming aggregator websites on the web, that you spent countless hours at. I think that look and feel and that feeling that we're trying to recreate will do far better than a more futuristic, neon lighted VR metaverse than that people get excited about because it's new, but will maybe skip when it comes out because it's not so fun. So that's how we think about it. And if you need any more impressions of how our art style differentiates from their art style, then yeah, check our website, BitHotel.io. It's all on there.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually think that you're quite right when it comes to the whole VR thing. I have an Oculus right here, and you put it on for about actually the first like 5-10 minutes is very awkward. It feels very weird. And you get used to it after that time, but they're very uncomfortable. The current affordable VR headsets are very uncomfortable. If you want the comfortable ones, they are actually out there. You'll probably look at spending about $5,000 for one that sits better on your face. So I think it's going to be a while before that's globally adopted.
I think so too.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next question, if you have any. Papa Needle Dog is asking, can you please go over differences in staking various characters, and if only rarity plays a role or job is important as well?
Interesting question. Staking characters, which I think is the first thing to unpack from that question. It's interesting. Normally people stake tokens, right? NFT staking does exist. We're looking at that, wherein if you stake your NFT, you get a certain percentage of your floor price allocated to you through tokens. So that's definitely a thing we're looking at, but it's not really high up on the list. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the other aspects were. Something around the job. I don't know. There are not real jobs in our ecosystem. Of course, similar to Axie Infinity, jobs can be created through an ecosystem, and people can rent out their accounts, have them play 8 hours a day, and give them like a percentage of the profits. That's always an option. However, yeah, I'm not sure how to answer the rest of the question, but I hope that satisfies the guy that asked it.
Yeah, I think that was, yeah, you did it perfectly. So now Aniket asked, how can I play the game? Where do I need to download any app, or is it on the website? Do you have some minimum tokens from BitHotel to enter the game? And how long do I have to lock the tokens if I need tokens to enter?
Yeah, good question. I think 3 different questions, but it's all good. So the game will be played first on browser, and then soon after we'll release mobile as well to tap more into the Asian market, I would say. So yeah, it will just be downloadable directly from our website, bithotel.io. And next to that, what you need to start playing, right? So you don't need any tokens or any character. You can actually already walk around without even creating an account. It will be very limited if you don't create an account. However, yeah, you can socialize. You can use some of the gaming aspects without connecting any what kinds of wallet or anything like that. So yeah, as I noted, it's free to earn. Is what the name would say when there's no barrier to entry, like we're planning to. And yeah, I think next to that, if you want to invest in the ecosystem, there's always an option to do that through either the marketplace or one of the initial NFT offerings. And the external token that is DEX listed, so that people can acquire prior to game launch, is not necessarily makes a very big impact when playing the game. It only gives you more earnings, basically, if you do decide to play, but not any higher likelihood to win. Yeah, I think that about covers that answer.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you
So
very
next
much.
question,
Yes,
Rajesh.
Rajesh. All right. Can artists showcase their work, or can they only use the furnitures from the NFT market of BitHotel?
Yeah, good point. So indeed, there will be like portraits and things like that to showcase things you have in your wallet on your wall, as well as maybe on the floor as well, in terms of carpets and etc. So no, that's definitely an option. We do, however, need to audit some of the possible collections that will be eligible to do this, so that people don't have very large dicks on their walls everywhere. So yeah, I think that's definitely an option we're implementing. So exciting.
Okay, thank you. Sean is asking, will players who spend money on rooms and assets have an advantage over other players who play for free? And will it affect the income of the free players too?
Yeah, good question. I think this is one of the main concerns for these types of games. Nobody likes a pay-to-win business model, wherein you would get an advantage when you pay. It really excludes all kinds of different player classes, like young people, people from Asia would then be excluded in the game in a sense. So no, there's no advantage to putting money in, except that you earn more, but not in terms of like how often you would win or anything like that. And you can progress throughout the game without purchasing anything at the beginning. So you can have just as many assets in game if you start early and you play 8 hours a day, than if you would put some money in at the beginning. It just creates a small acceleration on your progress, so to say.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what happens to the games usually. You still have to go throughout all the gameplay, but you can buy these starter packs or these monthly play packs. Where you get like like a cloak and a pet and a sword and stuff like that. It gives you some benefits, but you still have to do the same as other people.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right, let's move on to Elif. Will the scoreboard be international? Okay, that's interesting. Can you explain the relationship feature?
Oh yeah, that's two questions. I see. Yeah. So what we're doing is we're instancing, meaning we do have different servers and different locations throughout the world in order to have no lag in the game. So sometimes it will be very hard to play with your friend if he's on the other side of the world. You can, however, invite him over to your lobby and play in that way, but there will be a little bit of a lag just not very large, but minimal. Simply because the internet has to travel all the way across the world. So yeah, totally. Especially if you're in the same time zone, then it's very easy to play together or play against each other. And the relation feature, I think the word relationship in this sense is a bit misleading. It's more of a network incentive. So if you create a large friend list and collaborate to create a collection of in-game assets, you can then more or less combine them with a chance to get a higher rarity asset. So if you have two NFTs of the lowest rarity and you more or less burn them together, one of each character, then there is a chance that either everything gets lost or you get one of higher rarity. So that's what the relationship feature will entail.
Okay, thank you. We're gonna do two more questions and then we're gonna finish the EMA. I think we answered most of the question. Okay, so Jaime is asking, are we gonna need any type of KYC, or I think he also wants to know if there's two-factor authentication or anything in the game?
Yeah, good question. We do really want to completely accept anonymity, right? No need to connect your account to yourself in any way. I think that's the beauty of gaming as well. So no, we'll not have any kinds of KYC on the site that you need to sign up. No, it will be completely anonymous for whoever wants to. And yeah, of course, if you want to get in at like a pre-sale, which you still can with Seedify or TrustPad in the next week, then yeah, you'll have to KYC through them. But no, for the game, nothing like that.
All right, cool. Let's move on to the last question from Akash. Where do you guys see your market cap? That's another interesting one. Should we skip that one too? Where do you see your market cap in Q3 of 2022?
Quarter three, not 1 or 2, Q3.
Yeah, exactly. So in a year, almost. So yeah, it's interesting. We'll launch at just to go at it analytically. We'll launch at a 57k market cap. And we'll launch on a DEX, meaning if with our current amount of holders that we will have when the token launches, when the smart contract goes live, with all the vesting dashboards that we deploy, there will be thousands of holders. So the token will certainly go at 10x at launch. At least if the current climate stays as it is in crypto. That means we'll be around a 4 million market cap at within a week after launch. Even if we would hit some sort of trending in on coin market cap or DEX tools or any kind of tool that checks volume, then we could go even higher. I think 10 mil would not be out of the range of possibility. And then we would have to deliver on a lot of promises, which we're very busy doing for the next year. If all that goes well, then I'm not sure where we could end up. It also depends on the traction of the game, of course, and how big our community is by then. So I don't know. I think everything under 100 mil would make sense.
I think, in my honest opinion, it's safer not to do any price predictions about your own project. Just to be on the safe side.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Yeah, it's tough one to go at, but if you go at it pragmatically, I think that's the best I could do.
All right,
Okay, thank
cool.
you. So I think, except you want to say something you think we missed, or you want to say something else, I think we can just wrap up and finish the AMA here. It has been very nice to meet you, and thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, likewise, guys. Yeah, glad to be here. I would love to give you some parting words. If you are interested in checking us out, go to bithotel.io. Our socials are linked there. We have around 40,000 hotel guests waiting to get in. Yeah, we'd love to be to have you there as well. If you want to get in early in terms of the token, then feel free to check out Seedify. They will have a sale on the 21st and the 22nd, depending on which tier you are. Yeah, I think that about sums it up. If you have any particular questions that I could not answer, please feel free to drop them in our community channel. Yeah, thanks again.
Okay, so I think that's it. So please, guys, hit the like and subscribe. Go to the Gleam. The code has already been shared a lot of times. And thank you for joining, and then see you on the next AMA.
Okay. Thank you very much for being here, Leon.
Bye bye.